I'm bad at this. 3 times.
Okay. Okay. Welcome to worship with the community of First Unitarian Church of Omaha. My name is Lita Magisana, and I'll be your worship associate today. Can you hear me now? I'll start over. Welcome to worship with the community of First Unitarian Church of Omaha. My name is Lita Magisana, and I'll be your worship associate today. Whether you're attending online or in person, I'm glad you have chosen to join us for worship. A special welcome to visitors. This congregation is a community of all ages and abilities, a rainbow of gender and sexual identities. We are a community of diverse cultural and class backgrounds. We draw from many sources of inspiration and share common liberal religious values. Whoever you may be, we welcome you to First Unitarian this morning. If you are joining us online, you're encouraged to create a YouTube account to sign into when you attend online. This will give you access to the comment feature in YouTube. You can use comments to share joys and concerns that will be lifted up in worship, to say hello to other online attendees, or to share something about how the service connected with you. After the service, everyone is invited to the common room for coffee and conversation. Our speaker today is Melissa Gibson. She works at First as our membership and administrative manager. She is also a seminarian at Star King School for the Ministry. Melissa had been at First since May 2022, and we are so happy to welcome her to our pulpit again this morning. Announcement. Our social justice team will be in the common room after the service offering information and collecting signatures for Covenant for the Future, a document produced by the Unitarian Universalists for Social Justice. This covenant essentially calls for the repeal of the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, which has a number of economic, justice, and environmental impacts that degrade our deeply held values. Please see Dave during coffee hour for more information. Dave, can you raise your hand? Okay. And we also have Jesse Stallings. Want to come?
Good morning, everyone. I'm here on behalf of the board to let you all know we've been working on mission and vision. You can find information on that in the newsletter this month, but I'll also be down at coffee hour if you have questions about where we are in that process or want to give any feedback or anything like that. Thank you.
Also, we'll be having an ice cream social downstairs today. For more announcements, please raise your hand. I'm sorry, wrong one. For announcements, please scan the QR code on your order of service or visit our church calendar. You can also sign up for our church newsletter at firstuomaha.org/signup. Our land acknowledgement. As we move into the body of our service, our land acknowledgement holds particular importance today. While the United States turned 250 years old yesterday, the land is far older. Scientific study gives us an age of 4 billion years. The Appalachian Mountains are possibly over 1 billion years old. The Rockies, about 175 million. The Great Plains, what we see today, took shape about 5 billion years ago. It's now believed people came to North America possibly 90,000 years ago. These last 250 years was significant, or just a blip on this land.
For today's land acknowledgement, I've adapted words from Rosie Rios, the daughter of Mexican immigrants who served as the United States Treasurer. She is currently the chair of America 250, a nonpartisan, congressionally supported initiative celebrating our country's milestone anniversary. Long before the Declaration of Independence was ever signed, creating the United States of America, a diverse mosaic of Native peoples called this land home. From coast to coast, millions of Native Americans and Alaska Natives and hundreds of tribal nations and the Native Hawaiian community developed a rich culture built on family, community, and respect for their ancestral lands. Since our earliest days as a country, they have shaped every facet of our history. In war and peace, in moments of progress and division, too often serving as the conscience and the soul of our national character. The arrival of Europeans was a critical point in the history of Native nations. Two very different worlds collided, with great harm coming to the Native communities that had thrived on these lands tens of thousands of years. Wars followed wars, with unfair and broken treaties left in their wake. Millions died of disease, and with each step, settlers moved further and further west, forcing American Indians from their ancestral lands. And while we cannot change history nor look away from it, this 250th anniversary of the United States provides a unique opportunity for our nation to learn, to recreate space for Indigenous people, and to move forward together, not as an afterthought without exclusion, as part of a collective people. We recognize that this church occupies the traditional treaty lands of the Omaha and Otoe, Missouri tribal nations, whose sovereignty existed long before the state of Nebraska. We express our respect to the over 170 tribes represented within the Omaha area. At First Unitarian Church, we invite you to go beyond acknowledgments by educating and supporting causes, charities, and the rights of Indigenous people. Again, we cannot change history nor look away from it. This morning, I welcome Kaylin Goldner to light our chalice, the symbol of our faith. As the chalice is lit, I invite you all to join in the chalice lighting words. Spark of the Spirit, cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life. This morning's call to worship, I'd like to invite up Dave Richardson and Marie Settlecheck. They'll be reading an adapted exchange between the words of the Declaration of Independence and Abigail Adams, wife to second President John Adams and one of his closest advisors, as well as noted Unitarian.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
I desire you would remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors.
We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could.
To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
If particular care and attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to foment a rebellion.
Whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness.
We will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice nor representation.
So please join me in our opening hymn, number 121 in the gray hymnal, We'll Build a Land, and we'll be doing verses 1 and 2. Each month, 1/2 of the loose currency in the offering plate is donated to a cause with a local presence which advances important principles of Unitarian Universalism. Our July recipient, Astute Coffee, is a social enterprise and nonprofit organization offering workforce development and personal growth opportunities to young adults impacted by the foster care system. The programming, which includes financial literacy, cooking and nutrition, mindful meditation, academic tutoring, and more, is designed to have young adults ready for the workforce and beyond. Whether you stop by one of Astute Coffee's 2 locations for a cup or donate through Share the Plate, you are helping former foster youth move forward towards stability. Learn more at astutecoffee.org. Sharing in our joys and concerns, we reflect on the words of Cherokee Chief John Ross regarding the Indian Removal Act of 1830. We are overwhelmed, our hearts are sickened, our utterance is paralyzed when we reflect on the condition in which we are placed by the audacious practices of unprincipled men who have managed their stratagems with so much dexterity as to impose on the government of the United States in the face of our earnest, solemn, and reiterated protestations. We weigh this against the notable innovations of this time. Around the 1830s and 40s, we had the Second Great Awakening, the strengthening of the abolitionist movement, Nat Turner's revolt, railroad expansion, and industrialization. In the words of Frederick Douglass in 1857, "I make no pretension to patriotism. So long as my voice can be heard on this or the other side of the Atlantic, I will hold up America to the lighting scorn of moral indignation. In doing this, I shall feel myself discharging the duty of a true patriot, for he is a lover of his country who rebukes and does not excuse its sins." At this time, I invite Colin to share the written joys and concerns. Anyone is also welcome to address a silent joy or concern by placing a stone in the water bowl in front of the chancel.
Well, this is not the joys or concerns, but I thought this would be appropriate. Perhaps I am not the best dressed here, but I think I am the most appropriately dressed for today's sermon. And there are some more serious things I need to cover here. First of all, Daryl Hansen was in the hospital briefly last week after a drug reaction and has moved into rehab. He is progressing nicely, and he and Neva hope he'll be home soon. Cards may be sent to him at home. No calls or visits at this time, please. And the caring team shares that Linda Parker had a fall late last week and has been at Methodist Hospital. She hopes to be discharged on Monday and will continue recovering at home. We also have that Bill Bruns had hip surgery in Colorado in late June. It went well, and he is steadily recovering. And a joy from Sandy Bruns, saying, I had the total joy of marching in the Frisco 4th of July parade with my Congressman Joe Negis, and will cherish the 2 hugs I got from him, and our term limiting retiring Speaker of the Colorado House and friend Julie McCluskey, only one big hug. We got thunderous applause along the way, and it says in all caps, "We can do this."
Sorry about that. From Abraham Lincoln, the dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. Our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. Please join me in singing hymn number 170 in the Gray Hymnal, We Are Gentle, Angry People, verses 1 and 2.
We are
When we hit milestones as a country, we look at our history and recall key figures and events. We think about presidents and wars. We think of our flag, our government, and we maybe give all these things too much credit. While they're significant, these big stories told in our history books aren't universal. The big stuff happened, but so did other small things, all at the same time. Did you know that it took about 4,094 people pairing off over the last 300 to 400 years for you to be here today? Our history is kind of like that. It took all these separate events to create this larger existence. Some lesser told stories. In the Civil War, John L. Burns, a veteran of the War of 1812, enlisted in the Union Army at the age of 69. Enslaved 23-year-old Robert Smalls commandeered a Confederate ship and surrendered it to the Union Army, securing his freedom and that of his crew. He later served in the South Carolina legislature and later in the House of Representatives. And after the Civil War, the Rowland sisters lobbied in politics, opened a school, advocated for universal suffrage, and hosted countless interracial gatherings in their home. All this while being women of color in the South. In the 1880s, skyscrapers started to appear in skylines across American cities. And at the turn of the century, our country shifted from agriculture to industry. Mass immigration popularized the term, for good or bad, melting pot. As a quote from an unnamed immigrant on Ellis Island put it, "I came to America because I heard the streets were paved with gold. When I got here, I found out three things. First, the streets weren't paved with gold. Second, they weren't paved at all. And third, I was expected to pave them." The shift in everyday life for Americans was palatable. Homes went from gas lamps to electric light bulbs. We went from horses to cars. We flew. The first transatlantic telegraph happened. Medical discoveries across the globe brought the promise of improved health. But this was also a turning point. While Reconstruction after the Civil War held such promise, states across the country legalized segregation. Other problems in the early 1900s included the abuse of the labor class, including children, severe wealth discrepancies, poor infrastructure, and unfair and unjust systems and institutions. It was a divisive time across the nation. At the same time, this church sold off its original building. It nearly went under, but ultimately decided to keep together and landed here. We cannot change history nor look away from it. You're welcome to remain seated, and we'll be singing 159 in the Gray Hymnal. This is my song to commemorate World War I. of America emerging from World War I as a powerhouse for military and commerce, but almost as fast the country faced a pandemic, the stock market crashed, the banks failed, and unemployment hit the still all-time record high of 25%. Investment in our institutions in World War II remedied the situation for some people, but those benefits, doled out strategically by state governments and private companies, very intentionally deprived others. Black service members were denied GI benefits, continuing to challenge their opportunities for higher education, healthcare, and housing. Women veterans experienced similar hardships as structural loopholes kept them from earned entitlements as well. The babies of World War II overwhelmed homes, schools, and more. This church added the religious education wing during that time to accommodate the surge in children, just as the building boom across the United States also attempted to house, teach, and entertain the growing population. These children, called the baby boomers, were later pulled into their own conflict. America entered the Vietnam War formally in 1965. Once again, we faced a moment where our better angels did not prevail. MLK said, "I oppose the war in Vietnam because I love America. I speak out against it, not in anger, but with anxiety and sorrow in my heart, and above all, with passionate desire to see our beloved country stand as a moral example of the world." About a year after saying these words, MLK was assassinated outside his hotel room in Memphis. At his funeral, Minister Benjamin Mays said of King, "He had faith in his country. He died striving to desegregate and integrate America to the end that this great nation of ours, born in revolution and blood, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created free and equal, will truly become the lighthouse of freedom, where none will be denied because his skin is black and none favored because his eyes are blue, where our nation will militarily be strong but perpetually at peace, economically secure but just, learned but wise, where the poorest will have bread enough and to spare, where no one will be poorly housed, each educated up to his capacity, and where the richest will understand the meaning of empathy. We cannot change history nor look away from it. We now have a musical medley from Judy with a slideshow commemorating American history from the moon landing to September 11th. So the last 25 years and counting. This is the only era I'm speaking on where I've been alive. Okay. That maybe makes it a little harder. I'm biased. It's all still very close. We don't know what events and stories will stand the test of time. Our pros and cons lists are still being built, and we are not objective. It's easy to focus on the negative. I read that was an evolutionary trait. We pay more attention to bad things so we can survive. At this time, we've had the longest war in American history, the war in Afghanistan, lasting nearly 20 years, a few months longer than Vietnam. For decades, income inequality has hovered around Great Depression levels, and briefly, very recently, we had our first trillionaire. Meanwhile, when is the last time you had a raise that truly reflected the increased cost of living and your merit? In this time, we have made great advancements in technology, in health, in equity, in economics, but right now, on this most remarkable anniversary, it feels like every step forward has been met with 2 steps back. A friend asked me yesterday if there would be, quote, anything beautiful left. Reverend Benjamin Kramer said, grief is a form of patriotism too. This 4th of July, many of us won't be waving flags or watching fireworks, not because we hate our country, but because we love it too much to pretend that everything is fine. And I said here last August, our country started with a rebellion, a riot. We wanted representation. We wanted leaders held accountable. Generations of Americans have made what we now call, thanks to the late John Lewis, good trouble. It is downright patriotic and has been since this country's very existence. Patriotism is the love of a country and what she can be. It is hope. Patriotism is a love that acknowledges that our country is a work in progress. We have not come far enough. As some international friends recently reminded us on top of the Empire State Building, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. We hold these truths to be self-evident. America bows to no king. We cannot change history, nor look away from it. Amen, ashe, and blessed be. And our closing words come from Unitarian Universalist minister Liz Weber and James Morrison. Where there is pain, may there be a balm. Where there is oppression, may we find liberation. Where there is a rift, may healing come. And may we be agents of change together for good. We hold fast to our ideals, drawing on our history and looking towards our future, for we know that we belong to one another, that every being is sacred, that nobody is outside the circle of love, and that the only way forward is together. Go forth and fan the flames of passion to help heal our world. Go forth and spread the warm glow of love, pushing back the darkness of the world. Go forth and share your glorious light with the world.
Hey, what do you say? I come from a place called the U.S. of A. Ho, ho, what do you know? Hop in my car and let's go. This is a song for America, home of the red, white, and blue. Land of Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, apple pie, baseball, and Shell gasoline. And if you don't love her, you. Beloved by all from Tikrit to Beijing, if the world were a school, we'd be homecoming king. Worshipped by France and by North Vietnam, Iran thinks we're the bomb. This is a song for America, home of the red, white, and blue. Land of Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, apple pie, baseball, and Shell gasoline. SUVs, handguns, and Us magazine. And if you don't love her, fuck you. Our human rights record is something of note. We freed all our slaves and gave women the vote. Everyone's equal forever, always, unless you're one of them gays. This is a song for America, home of the red, white, and blue. Land of Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, apple pie, baseball, and Shell gasoline. SUVs, handguns, and Us magazine. Low-carb diets and fast food cuisine. And if you don't love her, f*** you. To all war-torn nations, to those in turmoil, we'll help you kill despots, we'll help you drill oil. And if you don't want our help, that's okay. We're coming in anyway. This is a song for America, home of the red, white, and blue. Land of Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, apple pie, baseball, and Shell gasoline. SUVs, handguns, and Us magazine. Low-carb diets and fast food cuisine. Crack cocaine, fentanyl, and ketamine. School kids all hopped up on amphetamine. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Bush and Obama and Trump and Biden. And Trump again's great rolling war machine. I think we're in trouble, don't you? It might seem I don't think our country's so great, but intolerance, bigotry, greed's what I hate. Most folks are honest and decent and true, peaceful, compassionate, good through and through. That's what it means to be red, white, and blue. And if you don't think so, f*** you. And if you don't think so, f*** you.